This is the Prep Rally Game of the Week. And Ricky fires. I'm sitting here looking. I could go play of the Game of the Week, Game of the Week, Game of the Week, Game of the Week, Game of the Week. But we can only talk about 3.
You know what? I've been days confused. Which game you want to go to? Which one is the biggest game? We got big games here. We got big games down there in Fort Smith area. Anybody out there is a high school football fan, I'm telling you, you got a lot of choices this Friday.
A lot of choices this Friday night. Now, this is week 9 of the regular season. So we got Ricky this week and next week. We got to get it done. And what's your motto?
Just win.
Just win.
Just win.
Just
I mean,
win.
there's all kind of scenario. If you do this, you do that, do this. We got smart guys like Henry Apple in the paper, all the scenarios. I'm not that smart. I say just win.
Just win. That's all you got to do. Just win. So, Ricky, we're going to start. We've got it narrowed down to 3 games that we're going to talk about today.
Yep.
The biggest game in the state, and Ricky, this is Leland Barclay said this earlier today.
Huge.
This game has been circled since like last February, March, when we found out that the Pulaski Academy was going to make the move from 5A to 6A because of the competitive equity factor. We knew they were going to go up. We just didn't know what conference they were going to be in. When we found out they were going to be in the 6A West, Ricky, we were like kids at Christmas getting a toy. We're like, oh my goodness, Greenwood, Pulaski, Little Rock Christian, they're all going to be in the same conference? Wow, that's awesome.
Just like we thought it would be, said, man, it could be for conference championship, and boom,
it is.
Friday night, October 28th. Those 2 teams, powerhouses for years, Pulaski Academy, powerhouse in 5A, Greenwood, powerhouse in 6A. Now they're in the same. Thank you, Arkansas Activity Association, and for putting these people in the same conference. My goodness, is it Smith Robinson Stadium? Hey, you better get there early. I'm telling you, this is going to be an exciting game. It's the biggest game in the state.
No doubt. Of all year long. Now, I know last week Bryant and Cabot was a big game. This is a bigger game, and it's probably going to be the first of 2 games that these 2 teams will play.
They could see each other
again in the playoffs. Now, they bring in a combined 20 state championships, 10 on each side, 10 for PA,
ain't that something?
10 for Greenwood. So it's going to be a great game, Ricky. Pulaski Academy's 8-0.
Yep.
5-0 in the 6A West Conference.
Yep.
Greenwood 7-1, 5-0 in the 6A West Conference. It's a home game for Greenwood. Might have a little rain Friday night. Might be a little bit chilly. Got leaves falling everywhere. How do you see this one shaping up?
I tell you what, Greenwood at home. Everybody knows how good Pulaski Academy is. And with Anthony Lucas as head coach, former Razorback, star wide receiver. But, man, a couple of weeks ago, Lake Hamilton came into Greenwood, and they left with a huge loss.
A zero.
A zero. They didn't score. Now, Pulaski Academy is going to score.
They'll score. Yeah.
But you know what? I'm going with the Bulldogs. You come into Smith Robinson Stadium and think you're going to take down the Bulldogs? Nope. Ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen.
So
Greenwood.
Ricky saying PA gets its first loss Friday night.
Yep.
Greenwood holding serve at home in this meeting between 2 powerhouses in 6A. Maybe a prelude to a state championship game. We'll see.
Prelude? Nice.
Prelude. Big one. Don't ask me to
That's
spell
like fixing to.
Yes, fixing to.
Yeah.
Something like that. So that is your game of the week, not just in this area. That's the game of the week across the whole state. Now, staying in this area, we're going to go down from the 6A West to the 5A West. And yes, you're hearing this right. Shiloh Christian at Prairie Grove in the 5A West, not the 4A1. It's the 5A West. But you know what's different, Ricky, this year?
What?
Nothing.
It's the same thing.
Rinse and repeat.
Shiloh averaging about 48 points a game. Prairie Grove, I think they're coming off a shutout a week or 2 ago. It's going to be a huge. You know what? These 2 teams went up in conference. It didn't bother them.
Not at all. Not at all.
I mean, it wasn't a big adjustment to them. Tiger Stadium is just going to be packed on Friday night. These guys are old rivals. Prairie Grove, man, they get good old tough country boys.
Yes, sir.
That's what they are.
Yes, sir.
Not that Shiloh Christian is not. But nobody tackles and nobody plays hard, runs the football as well as Prairie Grove. But man, that's another exciting game, a place you'd want to be. If you're anywhere along Highway 62, you need to be at that game.
Again, you want to get there early.
Get there early. Yep.
Now there is a big standing area on the one end zone over there, just outside the end zone, and it'll be packed.
And it may be people staying on people's shoulders right
Could
there
be.
and watch the
It
game.
could be. This game will be played on natural grass, which doesn't happen very often at all. But this one will be played on real mud and muck and grass, which is just exactly how Prairie Grove likes it. Now, let me set the stage. Prairie Grove coming in after another pounding, dominating performance last week by its two running backs, Connor Wetzel and Ethan Miller.
Yeah.
They combined for over 400 yards last week, the second week in the row that they've had big numbers. This is thunder and lightning for the Tigers. They are hard to contain, Ricky. They are hard to contain.
And Prairie Grove's defense too. And then you got Big Ryder Orr up there.
Their offensive line, Ricky, is fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And these guys will be first to tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Ethan Miller and them.
Yeah.
But man, they're going to get after this. And I've seen it before. I'm glad they're taking it up to the next level, 5A. And I tell you what, I mean, I love me some Tigers. I love country boy football. I love what Danny Apsher.
Wow, I've seen a butt coming. I got a butt coming.
But Shiloh Christian, man. Shiloh Christian is just a powerhouse program. The senior quarterback, Eli Wisney.
Huge game last week against Farmington.
Huge game.
Huge.
And you know how good Farmington is.
Yeah.
But, man, I got to go with Shiloh Christian this game. Sorry.
I tell you what, Ricky, last week, first play of the game for Farmington, their quarterback, Sam Wells, who's been quarterback, done a great job, by the way.
Yeah.
While Cameron Van Zant's been out.
Yeah.
Cameron Van Zant, by the way, was suited up last week. He might get a few snaps this week against Pea Ridge, which would mean maybe he get a bigger role in the finale against Prairie Grove. Okay, just saying. Just putting that out there.
Yeah.
But anyway, first play of the game. Give me your sound effect.
Phew.
Yes, to Jagger Gordon, 80 yards.
80 yards. From Samuel to 80
yards.
yards.
80 yards. He ran a little seam route right up the middle, 80 yards touchdown. You're like, ooh.
And then phew, to the end zone.
Yes. Shiloh came back.
Yep.
Shiloh came back. But,
like
Ricky,
they do.
It's a 30-30 game. It's
Up
30 to 30.
Second half.
It's 30 to 30. Right toward, start of the fourth quarter, it's 30 to 30. It's anybody's game. Couple of special teams breakdown for Farmington, Ricky. Couple of breakdowns. One, they allowed a 61-yard kickoff return. Okay. After they had tied the game 30 to 30, they kick it off. Bo Williams for Shiloh gets it, and he takes it 61 yards. Only the kicker was able to bring him down, or he takes it to the house. He housed it to get 61 yards. And then Eli Wisdom got his hands on the ball, and he didn't throw it, but his sound effect was still a yes, right around the corner, 31 yards. They got the ball back after Farmington stopped on a fake punt. Stopped as high snap, threw everything out of kilter. He gets tackled. They get the ball back. Eli gets the ball again, and again he goes 27 yards to a touchdown.
27, wow.
So now it's a 2-touchdown game. Then Shiloh gets the ball deep in its end of the field. You think they're going to run it out, maybe chew a little clock. Eli gets his hands on the ball, and Ricky, for the third time in a row, 89 yards for a touchdown.
89 yards.
89. It's 51-30, and it was over at that point.
You know what? And that shows you the value of special teams. That's why coaches talk about special teams all the time.
Yeah.
My goodness, those breakdowns can get you beat. And another thing get you beat is guys with dual threat quarterbacks like Eli Wisdom.
Yep. So Farmington's got to get that cleaned up, and that's something J.R. Eldridge mentioned after the game. He goes, that's on me. Those are two special team breakdown on the kickoff return like that. We got out of our lanes.
They will.
We got to get that cleaned up. And then the high snap, that's just an unfortunate thing. But he said, both of those are on me, and we'll get better.
That's what good coaches do.
And
he is a good coach. It's on us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's your second. Yeah. That's your second game of the week.
What else we got?
Shiloh Christian. Now, we mentioned the 4A1. Prairie Grove, Shiloh, not in the 4A1 anymore. The rest of the teams in that conference kind of rubbed their hands together and said, you know what? It's our turn.
Yeah.
It's our turn. And
the bullies are gone.
Elkins is one of those teams. The Elks have been waiting for this opportunity. They've got it. Ricky, they've got a good team. And last week, they waylaid Ozark. I was
really surprised about that.
Yeah, they laid it on them.
Yeah, and Ozark's a fine tradition. They got good coaches, good players. And they beat them, 2-3 touchdowns, wasn't it?
They put it on them. Dizzy Dean, their quarterback, had a nice game. Deshaun Chairs, our boy Deshaun, newcomer of the year last year, had a big game, 187 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Their defense, Ozark's a little one-dimensional. They focused on that run game. When Ozark had to go to the air, Elkins intercepted a couple of passes, ran one of them back for a touchdown, ran another one back to inside the 10-yard line, set up another short score. So Elkins wins that one to throw the 4A West race into to their favor. Elkins now in the driver's seat.
Okay.
Gentry said, you know what? We got keys over here too. We got some keys. Now, Ozark beat Gentry pretty badly down at Ozark a couple weeks ago. Gentry has a chance to come back and really throw the 4A1 into turmoil. They host Elkins Friday night.
That's kind of what happened in 7A for a while when Fayetteville, what was it? Bentonville West lost to Fayetteville, and then Fayetteville lost to Rogers.
Yep.
And then Rogers lost to Bentonville West. So kind of like a
triangle.
Yeah. We kind of got the same thing going right here.
Could be. Right now, Elkins is at the top.
Yeah.
But a Gentry win, then you got a triangle.
Then you got a triangle. Okay. You know what? And they've got a good team over there, Gentry. They've been down there for a while. One of them programs, they're real strong for a lot of years. Then they've been down a little bit.
Justin Bigham's done a good job over there, Ricky, coaching. He's done a great job there.
Come over from Rogers. He was assistant over there. Justin done a good job. And, they're 7-1.
Yeah.
They're 4-1 in conference.
That's right.
They got some great players over there. So, man, that's going to be a good game.
It'll be a great game. Elkins, Zach Watson was at Greenwood.
Yep.
Assistant coach there. If you could just listen at all at Greenwood, you're going to soak up some stuff from over there. And Zach did a great job there, learning under. Is it the best staff in the state? It's hard to say it's not. So anyway, he's done a great job at Elkins. Got a great move in Dizzy Dean and his brother Stone. So that's helped them a lot, and they're taking advantage of their opportunity being in the 4A1, which was Shiloh, Prairie Grove, gone. How do you see this one breaking down?
Now, I don't know Chris Bell. I think he's been injured for a while. I don't know if he's back healthy or not. That's a big factor in this
Probably a game time decision.
Probably a game time decision. But, man, I like what Elkins has been doing this year. The Elks are
they're balanced, Ricky. And they're balanced. And they're balanced. They got that good run game with Deshaun Cherry. And they can throw it.
I think the Elks are going to go over there to Gentry and come away with the win. So I got the Elks.
The Elks they're going to butt the Pioneers.
Yep.
The Pioneers are going to have their muskets, but the Elks are going to dodge it.
Yep. Just like that.
So to recap.
Just like Rudolph did with the abominable snowman.
There you go.
Went over the cliff.
What kind of snowman?
Okay, recap.
Don't ask me to say it either because I can't say it either. So to recap.
Yes.
Greenwood over Pulaski Academy at home.
Yes.
Shiloh Christian going on the road to get the win against Prairie Grove in the 5A West.
Yes.
Elkins going on the road to beat Gentry in the 4A1.
Absolutely, yes.
Abominable.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you heard it here first. Rick's Picks always every Friday in the Northwest Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, and you can see all of his picks from across the region that he does every week. Boy, I don't have anything to add.
No, let's go. I'm ready to go out and watch some football. Let's go.
And again, the words of wisdom from Ricky Fires for all you teams on Friday night.
Just win.
Just win. We'll see you next week.